Welcome to episode 3 of Industry Insider. Episode 3, we made it. People might think, it's only 3 episodes, but we made it. Yeah, it's 3 episodes, and it's just the beginning of something that myself and the team are going to be dedicated, working hard towards from now till 2020. We're almost in 2021. We're at the end of December. So big things are going to be coming from Industry Insider show. Coming up in Industry Insider, there's so much happening, covering a lot of the industry, what's been happening across the week. And people, make sure you stay locked for an interview with an industry mogul, Thad Barron. Netflix has revealed the eagerly anticipated second season of Top Boy has begun filming. Ashley Walters, all masked up, took to Twitter in front of a bunch of trailers where he actually says, you know what, you asked for it, we gave it to you. We're obviously shooting Top Boy. Top Boy is one of those films that the UK just love. There's just no two ways about it. Like, if you don't like Top Boy, you must be a hater. Like, it's literally like that. Top Boy is that's the lick. They've done their thing. So following on from the original 2 series which aired on Channel 4 in 2011 and 2013, retrospectively, Netflix Top Boy centres on 2 seasoned drug dealers who find themselves threatened by a young and ruthless hustler upon their return in London. It's a UK thing, it's a big look, and we rate all of the actors, the directors, everybody that's come together to make this possible. Presenter Jay London has created a brand new documentary entitled 7, shining a light on talented up-and-coming underground artists. Jay says he's consistently inspired by the music scene and those within it, and the documentary series focuses on 7 unique up-and-coming journeys through the lives of 7 artists in the UK. So Riri and A$AP Rocky are being seen together in New York, and it is alleged that they are dating. There's rumours flying across social media saying that our girl Riri and A$AP Rocky are together. We like the link up, it's a good look. Now we all know that Riri has got that Caribbean spice to her. So it's going to be interesting to see if man like A$AP Rocky can handle girl like Riri. This week on Hot Topic, it's going to be focused on LOSKI and it's going to be focused on DIGGA D. Today's spotlight is on UK drill artist LOSKI. LOSKI is definitely one of the artists that out of the UK, when it comes to the drill scene, he is definitely one of the most known drill artists for several reasons, whether it was his come up, whether it's what he done whilst he's been up, or whether it's about what he's about to do now. LOSKI is definitely top to be one of a global artist coming out of the UK. Even though LOSKI makes hardcore drill, he did prove that he is also a versatile artist with tunes like Forrest Gump, and he showed that he can make party tunes with hooks with no problems. That one right there was an absolute banger. And if you don't know the gang, it's all about Harlem Spartans. Members of Harlem Spartan have had over 100 million streams throughout their music. The young lads from Kennington doing big things for the drill scene. Harlem Spartans started making music in around about 2014 with songs like Call Me a Spartan, Kennington Where It Started, Cool King, Hazards, Forrest Gump. Drake has publicly stated he is a fan of Harlem Spartans, and I'm sure you've heard Drake's drill tunes where he almost feels like he's part of Harlem Spartan. You know, when he wrote his bars, he was like, yo man, I'm part of the gang, man. Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I'm in the studio with the Harlem Spartan. Yo, man's on the waiting, man's on the dating. But still, it shows you the influence because it's a big look. Drake's a big artist, and if Drake is publicly stating he is a fan of Harlem Spartans, He posted it on his social media. Lyrics, you know what I mean? It's like the bestie. So this week then, LOSKI came out on social media and he actually said to his fans that LOSKI himself is a character. LOSKI said that he plays the character of LOSKI because it's good for business. It came as a bit of a shock to a lot of his fans that may not have understood what he meant. A lot of LOSKI's fans will be used to him telling his drill stories, they'll be used to him going hard. They're used to hearing those kind of bars that associate a lot of the UK drillers and drillers globally that make drill music what it is. It's hardcore. But LOSKI actually came out and said that it's more of a business for him than anything else. A lot of people within the industry actually sat up and took note at that moment, just because we're used to LOSKI as just as an artist, watching his videos, hearing his tracks, seeing his recent success, watching him climb as he is right now. But for him as a young man to turn around and talk with such business sense was a good thing for the industry. Some people felt like LOSKI was exposing a side of the industry that not a lot of people know about. He said things like, a lot of the artists that are playing some of these roles are not really real, they're not really banging, they're not really going that hard, it's just music. And it seems to be a message that he was trying to get across in his interview. Now, a lot of people may not have really understood the business side of things, but what LOSKI was trying to explain is that he's understood that he's an artist that can make money, and to make money you have to have a business sense about you. For such a young man, it was good to hear, I'm not gonna lie. It's good to hear artists speak with business sense and have a good business acknowledgement of what the requirements are. A lot of people don't really understand, like when you're signed, what that actually means, what is expected of you from your label, whether it's from a money perspective, whether it's from an image perspective, whether it's from a social perspective, a performing perspective. They kind of like do hold the reins when you're signed to them, because that's what you're doing. You're signing to say that, yeah, I'm going to deliver what you're asking of me, and for that they're expecting the highest levels and the highest turnovers. It's good to hear LOSKI talking on a business perspective, because it's taken such a long time, especially within the UK, for artists, independent artists as well, to even have a business side happening, legal business, where they're not being taken advantage of by labels, where they're going into deals and fully understand what it's about, whether it's a deal, whether it's distribution, whatever it is. It seems like because a lot more artists are putting things on their own channels, they're not having to go to major labels anymore, as where a few years ago, if you wasn't on a major label, basically you wasn't really getting that acknowledgement, you wasn't getting played on playlists. Now it automatically happens because people are creating their own hype. But what LOSKI was saying is that he's playing that role, and when he steps on stage or when he steps out and they're expecting LOSKI, that's what they're going to get, because that's the character that he's playing and that's what's going to make him the most money. Big up to LOSKI from Industry Insider and Miss Temps. It's not easy being an artist, it's not easy being a successful artist, and it's not easy being an inspiring artist. If you're in the industry, or if you know anything of the industry, you'll know that it is a huge sacrifice and commitment out of your actual life to say, right, I'm going to make music and this is what I'm going to do, because it takes a lot of time, effort and money to do so. Big up to all of the artists that's in the UK and worldwide that's taken that chance to say, you know what, I'm going to do this, and they're able to look at other artists as a business model now and say, actually, you know what, we can make money from this thing. So big up to all artists out there that's working hard and pushing forward towards your dreams. Industry Insider, we salute you. In and out of jail throughout his teenage years, Digga D has not had the smoothest start to his younger adult years. Digga D first emerged as part of a rap crew in London in 2011 before releasing a few solo singles back in 2017. Some big tunes came from Digga D like Kill Confirmed, Play for the Pagans, No Hook and Next Hook. Something to look out for coming up on BBC 3 is a documentary that actually focuses on a day in the life of Digga D, and he addresses life of being in and out of jail since he was 17. If you didn't know, in 2018 the Metropolitan Police launched a campaign to remove all of Digga D's videos. Imagine that. you're blowing, you're smashing it, millions of views. Next 2 Metropolitan Police launch a campaign, you know, to remove all of your videos off social media. Now, Digga D is actually one of the first musicians in British history to be given a criminal behaviour order that controls his creative output. So basically what the police then turned around and says is, all right, you can make music, but we need to monitor everything, every bar, every flow, every metaphor, every colour, everything. They're analysing before they are prepared to give it the go ahead. So imagine that, you're Digga D, you're making big bad drill tunes now, and you need to go from the studio to the police station, let them hear your tunes, and wait for that. So if it wasn't clear enough, it basically means that Digga D is not allowed to release any music or videos without informing the police first. The rapper recently released a brand new daily duppy on Grime Daily, racking up over 1 million views within like 24 hours. Within 48 hours, he's nearly touching 2 million views on his daily duppy. Stef London and Burna Boy hit social media. When you're out there as a celebrity, you're going to be out there, and a third person is out there too. Stay locked to Industry Insider, where I'll tell you more about that situation. So recently, one girl called Jo Pearl has come out and said that her and Burna Boy have been in a relationship for 2 years. She held nothing back, saying that their relationship allegedly has been happening for 2 years. She's a shapewear businesswoman, and she's claimed that she is hesitant. At first, she was hesitant to date Burna Boy, and she never wanted to be with someone in the music industry. However, he wined and dined her, and she decided that it was cool. She found out about Stef, but didn't really business because she's still with Burna Boy, allegedly. I was just in love, and I've been in love for 2 years, and I've been seeing him for 2 years, and I've just been in the background skiing. So that must be the brand new word for the background girl, them. Not gonna lie though, if it was on a visual thing and she's a big plus size model, as you can see from the picture, yo, African backs on it, you know, Mars. But still, anyway, Stef's still dead with Burna Boy. She ain't bounced yet. Not hearing anything happening on social media. What Stef London is saying about her hubby. But Industry Insider, we're here to cover what's happening across social media. So this week then, it was the MOBO Awards. Some people are out there getting dressed up for lives to go watch the MOBO Awards. Other people was at home watching the MOBO Awards because they was doing something different this year. They was multi-streaming. Mahalia, Headie One and Nines lead the win at 2020 MOBO Awards, with Young T and Bugsy among the other evening winners, with Mahalia and Nines walking away with 2 trophies. And big up to those that locked into the first episode of Industry Insider, where we covered the MOBOs coming up. Now it's been and gone. And now it's Industry Insider's turn to take you through the review of what we thought and what social media thought of MOBO's 2020. So it was the return of the MOBO Awards, we could say, because they hadn't been back since 2017. So on December the 9th, 2020, they was back to celebrate again the origin of black music. Crabs in the Bucket won Nine's Album of the Year and top prize in Best Hip Hop Act category. Headie One, who released his debut studio album earlier this year, was named Best Male Act. He actually beat fellow nominees Stormzy and J Hus and Nines. It was definitely a big night for the Nottingham man them, Young T and Bugsy, who actually took the public voted award for Song of the Year, a big massive tune, Don't Rush, which also features Headie One. Organisers was promising a lot from the return of the MOBO Awards this year, promising more determination, more energy than ever before. They hadn't been here since 2017 because of a lot of controversy, and people do want to know more about it. MOBO 2020 award winners. Album of the year, Nines with Crabs in a Bucket. Best male act, Headie One. Best female act, Mahalia. Song of the year, Young T and Bugsy, Don't Rush featuring Headie One. Video of the year, NSG. Best R&B soul act, Mahalia. Best hip hop act, Nines. Best grime act, JME. Best international act, Burna Boy. Best performance in TV and show, Michael Ward, Blue Story. Young T and Bugsy, the duo coming out of Nottingham City with one of the biggest tunes of the year, Don't Rush, featuring Headie One. It was a big look for Nottingham. It was a big look for Nottingham artists. It was a big look for the city. It was a big look for Young T and Bugsy. They're coming from the heart of Nuts and they're on TV winning awards. It's a major look, and financially would be something that's paying off in a business sense for the young two lads then from Nottingham City. Industry Insider, Miss Temps wants to salute Young T and Bugsy. Two young, determined man them from Nuts. Wave goodbye to the city and hello to international fame. Since winning their award, Nottingham has absolutely been celebrating. They've been all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all over Facebook, all over the news, all over publicly. Everybody is proud of Young T and Bugsy. If you didn't know, then you better get to know. Young T and Bugsy out of Nuts. It may have come to a surprise to most, seeing them post on their social media saying publicly that they're from Nottingham, they're proud, and they're here now, ready to take over the world. MOBO Awards hasn't been around since 2017, as I explained earlier. So this was their comeback year. And on the live on the day, they had about 19,000 people, which in the grand scheme of things isn't major. It might sound like a lot of people to be on the live, but it's actually low. People are achieving those numbers on a weekly basis every single week. And I'm talking about people who's nowhere near the stature of Box for Box. A lot of the industry can achieve those numbers. So it kind of showed the strength of MOBO Awards. It's a good job that actually BBC backed them up with broadcasting it. Now they had a trailer for the MOBO Awards that actually got 1 point something million views, and that was like 30 seconds. So it kind of shows you what people are actually interested in. Or did people come on the live and they just didn't want to stay? So it was clear to see from some of the background shots that there was a huge budget in place for the MOBO Awards this year, because I doubt very much that the artists that they had would have been free. You could see from some of the scene changes that they was in a big recording studio, but what they was actually producing was just low level, really, when you think about it, or if you know anything about streaming at all, you'd realize that what they was doing wasn't something that was like outstanding for streaming. No, it wasn't, not really. And in a minute, I'm going to pop in to the MOBO Awards and just show you like how easy kind of this thing is. So because I've handled major budgets, I know how these things work. So what would be interesting to see is what they're going to do next year, because was the budget the same this year for next year? If it was, it didn't deliver from a money perspective of what they could have achieved. So what I'm going to do then, guys, is I'm going to hop into the MOBOs. I'm going to do our review. Yeah? Let's go. Now, Stylo G was stifled because he's on there with a big performance. Yes, hype, the thing was. But what stifled Stylo G is the fact that he didn't win the award. Buju Banton won the award. Now I've got pure manners, respect and love for Buju Banton. However, Buju Banton's not long been released from prison. Yes, he's released an album. It wasn't groundbreaking in any way, shape or form. He released an album that a lot of his fans felt they wanted more from, way more from, and especially in terms of reggae. Now, how can Buju Banton win over Stylo G? Come on, man. The UK industry for dancehall and reggae is thin. When I say thin,
not much is going on, and the industry needs strengthening. So here we've got something to strengthen the industry, and also respect to Stylo G. The reason is because he isn't the most consistent of artists, but he has put in some works and he's definitely produced some hits this year to date. Yeah. So we felt from Industry Insider and across social media as well that G deserved that award for his works that he has contributed to reggae dancehall globally and across the UK. Now, the thing why we also feel like Stylo G was stifled in the MOBO Awards is because Buju Banton still could have won an award for some sort of international award, because he's an international artist, right? He's from Jamaica, currently residing in the US of A. So he could, because Stonebwoy won an award and Burna Boy won an award as international acts. So there was space for Buju to win this award elsewhere. However, he took an award away from an artist that has actually been putting in work and is recognised globally, and he's from the UK. And at a time when the industry for dancehall and reggae in the UK especially needed to be strengthened, it was let down massively. So MOBOs, big up man like Stylo G, you know, call me a yarded dumpling. Just touched down in at the airport. Come off it. How is he not won? Anyhow, big up man like Young T and Bugsy though. Once again, as I'm here backstage. So we're still behind the scenes of MOBO Award review here on Industry Insider with Miss Temps. We're doing our own review, you know. You can see it's kind of looking like the MOBOs. Wow, we're backstage. Turn up. But anyway, Industry Insider's take on it is this. Wardrobe at the MOBO Awards did a great job when it came to every single person on the MOBO Awards that night, other than one person. And it is the young lady in the Amazon outfit. And I don't mean something that's been delivered via Amazon. I'm talking something that looked like it just popped out of the Amazon. It was not a good look. And I don't know, did something happen right before? Was there a malfunction at wardrobe? Someone, I don't know. But the young lady got stifled because across the whole of the channel, all you could see was pure girl them on fleek, except for one poor young girl who, again, as you can see from the picture, didn't look like she should have been a part of the MOBO. She looked like she should have been in one of those films that features people from the Amazon. So, Industry Insider, we're here to monitor these things because that was not a good look and it was uncomfortable to the eye. It's a young girl. If it's a big woman in them things and she's working with it, it's different, but she was not. The poor girl looked uncomfortable. So these are the things that you guys have been saying across social media, and it's things that Industry Insider absolutely saw and just thought, nah. So not a bad review. I'm just about to come out of backstage and, you know, we have got some hot things talking about on Industry Insider this week. And we've also got an interview from what I would describe as a bit of a mogul when it comes to the UK industry. Somebody that's had a major input in its growth and somebody who's still relevant today. Fad Baron is going to be talking to Ms. Thames on the Industry Insider show.
I was running a club called The Raw off Tottenham Court Road, by Great Russell Street, downstairs of the YMCA. And every single Friday, you know the YMCA? And every single Friday, I used to get like literally like 1,000 people. And we must have ran that club for like a good 3 years. At the same time, I was running a club in another part of central London, off in the really posh part on Jermyn Street. And I was getting like 600 people a week on a Saturday night. And I was running that for like 3-4 years. And I was also running like, you know, bank holiday weekends at the Wagon. But so I was a very well-worked DJ, and I was a promoter. So in me doing all of this, eventually a friend of mine, his name is Simon Aldrich. Simon Aldrich used to work for a record company in West London called ZTT. He was the guy responsible for signing the singer called Seal. Are you conversant with Seal? He signed Seal, and then he wanted to sign a girl group called All Saints. Are you conversant with All Saints? So All Saints did a cover version of an American R&B group, and their song was called Silver Shadow. Silver Shadow shining. Yeah. So Simon got All Saints to reflip that. So his next plan was, how do I get that music to the scene, to the DJs, to the radio stations on that arena? So he came to see me in the record store, and I got it popping. A few months later, another friend of mine, he used to run a club in central London called Astoria on a Saturday night, and he had a promo company called Heavyweight, and his name is Simon Goff, and he used to manage a drum and bass DJ with crazy dreadlocks called Ronnie Size. So Simon Goff basically said, what you did for Simon Aldridge with All Saints and the Atlantic Star, this is what my company Heavyweight Media does. Why don't you come work for me off Charing Cross Road, and I get different records from record companies, from independent guys, and I have to get it popping, and I have to give them reports like every couple of weeks, like, so what's the progress been? So he gave me a job working at Heavyweight Media, and we was doing that, I don't know, probably for like 10 months or whatever. And then he got busy, I was doing stuff, he left, I left, and I think it was Red Bull. Red Bull wanted to do a DJ tour in Spain, and they took me and a couple of people to Spain and get it popping. And when I came back, Simon said to me, yo, I'm closing Heavyweight Media. I'm not doing the promo thing no more. I've got a brand new job for a company you might have heard of called Universal. Do you want to do A&R for me at this small company called Universal? I thought to myself, I'd done my degree, I'd finished university, I was running a Friday nightclub, a Saturday nightclub, you know, giving out rule flyers and stuff. And I was like, what would be beneficial for me? Do I want to work for that small company 5 days a week called Universal, or do I want to basically work for Wild Pitch? After thinking for like 3 minutes, I left Wild Pitch. I left Wild Pitch and I started working for Universal Music Publishing. Now you have to understand that in the music industry, there's an umbrella. Indeed. And then it became more explanatory that under the umbrella of music, one side of it is the recorded side, which is the record label. They're responsible for the manufacture of the physical product, the CD, the vinyl, paying for the budget. So if you're Biggie and you want to do a song with Busta Rhymes and he's not your best friend and he won't do it for free, you have to pay him. And the people who pays him is the record company. That's why they give you an advance. And in that budget of £300,000, you work out, right, that feature with Stormzy, that feature with Busta, blah, 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 that will cost that. That will cost that for the video. That's the record company. The publishing company is the same umbrella, but they're like the cousin, and what they look after the interest of the songwriter hit song by singing someone else's song. The record company gets that, but that person won't get any money from the songwriting because they didn't write the song. So then, and because I'm from that generation of where soul music and body popping and electro became spitting and rapping and Biggie and Buster and Kalashnikov and Rodney P, I was very infatuated with producers, beat makers, Jay Dilla and blah, blah, blah. So during the publishing side, I signed a young lady who was a singer by the name of Kelly the Rock. I signed a dancehall artist by the name of Glamour Kid. I signed a dope hip hop beat maker by the name of Lewis Parker. I signed a female MC out of West London by the name of Phoebe One. I got involved with producers from Rock Nation. I got involved with producers from DMX's camp. I'd go back and forth to America. I was basically one of the very few people in the United Kingdom, specifically whose job it was to go source, find, make famous Black music. So after I left Universal, Billboard wrote pieces about me. I spent like a year going around the States, meeting links and blah, blah, blah. Then I came back to the UK and then I got offered another A&R job. A friend of mine, his name is Clive Black. So Clive Black used to run EMI. He was president of EMI for like a good chunk of years. When he left there, he used to work for Warner's. Him and Mickey D, they signed a guy, I think, is Mark Morrison from Leeds or Leicester? They signed Mark Morrison. He had a huge record. Return of the Mac. Yeah. Leicester. So Clive Black was the guy who had signed Mark Morrison. His dad, Don Black, is a seasoned songwriter. So back in the 70s, Clive Black's father, Don, had written a song for Michael Jackson called Ben. And later on, he wrote a dope song for Shirley Bassey that Kanye West sampled. That was from a James Bond film. So Clive basically thought, right, I heard about you. You've come highly recommended from your peers in that world. I'll give you a job. So I got another job working for, at the time, the biggest independent record company in Europe. Their head offices were in Germany. They had branches in England, France, Holland. They were called Edel Records. So eventually, we did a deal with Island Records. Like companies can basically do joint venture deals, and it's their money, it's your money, you split the cost. We had an R&B kid from London called Cassius Henry, and I took him to the States because depending on how further you go back, what was acceptable or who the mainstream media had heard of would have been the American R&B or rap music, black music star, because there's 60 million black people in America. They've been there for 400 years, and they had famous people going back to the 30s like Nat King Cole. And so the model of a story coming over to the UK, be it Bobby Brown, be it Whitney Houston, by the time it leaves America, they've already had a good story. So what I did at the time, I took Cassius to America to work with Kanye, to work with Freeway. And I started managing around that same kind of period, a beat maker from a place called Derby. And his name is Baby J. Blueprint. From the record shop Blueprint, I got to run in the clubs. From running the clubs, I got offered an A&R job at Universal. From working at Universal, I got to meet all the other A&Rs in records, all the other A&Rs in publishing, all the booking agents, because when you are an act signed to a record company and you see people doing Wireless and Glastonbury and getting bookings up and down the country to perform, these are booking agents. So a newer side of and more knowledge of the industry I managed to learn and investigate as on my travels. So after I did the 5 years of Universal and going back and forth to the States, the whole Dilla thing, blah, blah, blah. Then I got a job at Edel with a joint venture with Nick Gatfield, Jason Eiley, my boy Clive Black, and we got Cassius popping because I wanted to get the money for me to go and holler at my boy who I knew, Kanye, to produce a couple of tracks, Freeway to spit in a couple. Then after that, I got involved with the rhyme and poetry with the Arts Council. Then I got involved when HFM basically gave me a radio show. At the same time, like there is in London, you've got Lovebox, you have Wireless, you have Glastonbury. All these are music festivals. The big music festival in Camden was a festival called the Camden Crawl. The majority of music festivals, you go, there's a nice bit of dry, emphasize, repeat, dry grass, and on the grass is a tent. And that tent, you get an armband or I don't know, some kind of pass, pink, green, or yellow. And that tent is drum and bass. That tent is rock. That tent is folk. And this genre, this culture I was involved with, we weren't really getting tents until around this period that Grime Daily was popping and blah, blah, blah. So I was invited with Akala, another UK rapper by the name of Sway, for us to kind of give some knowledge, give some black hipness of the culture to the Camden Crawl who decided, like Wireless, like Lovebox, like all of them. Now we're in the middle of London, and ethnic people make up a third of the population. Perhaps if we had their culture at these events, they too might buy tickets. So at the Camden Crawl, we had everyone from Little Sims to Lady Leisha to Crepton Conan to Getz to Nick Brewer. Like, I did loads of bookings I was there for like 4 years and booked loads and loads of people. So fortunately, at that period, I was working for the Camden Crawl, doing stuff with the Arts Council. I just had my show on HFM, and I was also basically doing the Channel U Hot Bar show. Sadly, Darren passed away, as we know, and they Channel U, I think they sold it to Universal at the time, so they stopped the shows or whatever. HFM still continued, and I'm still there now. I was offered another job, an A&R job, by my homeboy Clive for a big publishing company in America called Primary Wave. So Primary Wave, they're based downtown in Manhattan, and they decided to expand as you do, and have an office, a branch in London. Clive began running Primary Wave. He hollered at your boy to come and do what you do. In America, they teamed up with a guy called Chris Lighty. Chris Lighty in the rap culture in America is very, very pivotal. He managed a guy called 50 Cent. He managed a guy called Busta Rhymes. And he can go back to many, many artists in the culture of hip hop. He was one of the most pivotal and integral people. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago, but I managed to meet some of these people through my boy Chris Lighty. When he passed away, the BBC won extra holiday at me for me to basically help steer and implement their documentary on the life of Chris Lighty. Because I'd been the A&R guy, they knew I knew people in America, so I connected the dots. And if you go to my website, you'll hear the
LILA IKE was not happy this week, boy. She took to her Instagram and she let everybody know that there are dub plates out there that are not original from her. Now, LILA was vexed, nonetheless, that tunes are out there. You know, she's proud of her work. You can see that she's an artist that's proud of her work. So if she hears something and some people are saying it's a splice, it's this, it's that, and it's not her works, she's got all rights to come out and speak on her social media about it. It's blocking her bread, it's blocking her brand, and it's a joke thing, really. It's a disrespect. So yeah, this is what LILA had to say. I'll let her tell it for herself.
The turnaround time is long, but somebody tell you say, you say I wait for a LILA. No man, me and LILA the right just right now. I said I act like, give me the money man, I'm gonna get that right now. And then you end up with something like this. You get what I say? So I would much rather for that not to happen to Uno, because everybody in this thing together. We're all going through this. We think them a deal with in our life. And for the lady that is actually out there doing this, miss, with all due respect, it doesn't look good. And it's not just me alone them thing that happen to, bro. If you hear some of them dub plater with people have a sell people, and it's like, bro, come on, man. If you can't afford to buy 5 dub, bro, buy 1. Buy 1. But I make somebody tell us that them can give you 5 for $100 or $50. Cause that's bizarre. You get me? But I make nobody tell us say, yo, me can get you a Buju dub plate for $100. The freak? You get what I say? So all I can do is make you know what is happening. If you're on this live and you're a sound man and you happen to tune in, good for you. Now you know. If you have friends that are hearing the same thing or whatever, this is me. This is my face. This is my voice. This is my skin. This is me talking to you. LILA talk to you, bro. If you're not sending an email to lilaikemusic@gmail.com, or if you are not speaking to Danger Mental, then you are definitely not getting a dub plate from me. You're getting a dub plate from this lady here. You get me? And when you do get that, don't come reach out to my team to say you got a fake LILA, because I can't where you get it from, because I just the real LILA we deal with around here. So you get what I say? Right? So I would just want to share the information here with your friends and family and everybody who is in the dub plate business and all of that. I know say it was just a matter of time before them things start happen. Somebody start splice a LILA, or somebody start try sound like a LILA. So I knew that was coming, but if he comes so and you get tricked like this, brother, this not then nowhere near. You get me? This just stop at the Lee. You know, reach at the light. I'll know it reach at the light, because me no sound so.
Yeah, and this is LILA IKE representing for Sniper Sound, DJ Scooby, Lenny Hype, DJ Style. Hey, what channel?
Come on, man. This is not where I'm coming from, video, brother. What is this?
Sniper Killer Sound tonight.
Like, come on, man. So, me just play my part in this thing and do what me can do, which is just to say, yo, don't get trapped. Don't take your money and throw it away. You get me? Just not do it. If you want a LILA IKE dub, the only place to reach out is through my email. Don't go link a man. Don't go say send your money to somebody. Don't a son of money a dash in a corona. Huh? A son of money a dash in a corona just cause somebody tell you say, yo, me can't get you the dub for X dollar, and you just want to be cheap. Or somebody tell you say them can't get it quicker than how it goes through going through the system.
So what's your guys' thoughts on LILA IKE's situation and the video that she put out there? Go onto the channel and make sure you make a comment and let me know what your thoughts are on that subject. And whilst we're talking about sound clash, there's only one place to be, and it's www.addictedtoclash.com. Or the sound clash connoisseurs. So if you're just someone that's into sound clash, or you're thinking, what's LILA IKE talking about dub plates, go on to www.addictedtoclash.com, because that's where it's all happening. There's only one place to be, and that's where it's at. Big up to Sky's the Limit Promotions as well, putting in a huge amount of work for the culture. And don't forget, Box for Box is out on a weekly basis. You can go onto the YouTube channel, you can go onto the Facebook page, you can go onto the Twitch, and you can seek out the Box for Boxers, or you can go to www.addictedtoclash.com. With such industry information, make sure you come back and join me same time next week. Don't forget though to like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Make sure you support and make sure you share the link.